After you finish an improvement project or you've solved a business problem, you will always have a couple of new standards, so new ways of working that are needed to keep this better result for your organization. And the best way to check if this new way of working will really take its roots within the daily operation is process confirmation. So let's check out what it is. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel where we talk about continuous improvement in an industrial setting. And today's video is about process confirmation, the way to check if your new standards are really working in the daily operation for your colleagues. Because during an improvement project, you probably thought up new ways how to operate, new ways to use your equipment, but also for business processes. But this might be a better and ideal way to work that does not yet guarantee that your colleagues are actually using this new way of working, that they can get it into their habits. And maybe also there are some things that they need, so tools or ways of working or how it fits into their daily work that doesn't work as well as you thought it out. So you're checking two things, which is, do my colleagues actually use the new standard? And if they don't use the new standard, what's keeping them? And that is the most important thing. We're not trying to police them, we're trying to find reasons how to make sure that they will adopt it and how can we remove obstacles. And that's also why we check a process, its key points, and we check it to a standard. Now, this here immediately is also, if you use the traditional way of process confirmation, the front of your card, and you check it a number of times, if we checked it 10 times and it's almost always going well, and if it was not going well, the problem was easily fixed and then did not repeat, well, that's probably good. On the other hand, if you check it 10 times and it's not going well 6 out of 10 times, for instance, you know that you have to do something with the standard. You probably have to change the standard, not so much the people who are using it, because discipline will only get you that far. You can use it to force your people to work with a new standard for a limited time. But if it doesn't fit into their normal operation, if they don't have the correct tools, if something around the work standard is really not comfortable, you will not get a sustainable change. Now, I talked a bit about the traditional way with cards. The setup is, as soon as you have a new standard, you would like to check it a number of times. You are completely free to not do this 10 times. Just think about it up front. And if you just want to start with something, 10 times is a really nice basis to start. Now, what will you be checking? There is a basic, it's going well or it's not going well question. So is the standard performed as we agreed? Yes or no? And especially in the case that something is going wrong, what is the obstacle? So we're not interested in who is making a mistake or exactly how much the mistake will cost. We're interested in why did they not follow the standard? And most interesting are those things that we can solve for them. Maybe they weren't trained, but also maybe they didn't have the resources. Now, to make this decision, you only need to know a couple of things about the new standard. That is, well, which process are we actually looking at? Because somebody will pick up the card or get the order to do this process confirmation. They of course have to know which process will we be confirming, and then what are the key points to look out for. Because we can check the entire new work instruction and check if the whole process is going well, but usually when you do this improvement or when you've been on a problem-solving team, you know what are the key points that somebody else, but also yourself, but especially that somebody else needs to take into account when checking if things are going in the new correct way. So write it down. It makes it so much easier for your auditors to do a good confirmation. And then of course you just link to the standard that is used. What's the work instruction? What's the standard way? This is more for reference. It's good that an auditor prepares before going and checking the process. What are they supposed to do? But in practice, again, make it easy by already putting the key points there. Now then what you see a lot, and this will be the paper version of doing process confirmation, is that you make T cards out of it. You just give it a little red and green wider top than the rest of the card, and these cards, well, they are supposed to be about that size, credit card format. They slid into a big board, an overview board of all of your process confirmations, and you can see if it's red, that has not been done yet. When you do a specific process, when you confirm and do the round, you take the card, write on the back of the same card, because this is actually the back of that same card. You write your remarks and you place it back with the green side up, and then your whole board will turn green. So this here, these are front and back of one and the same card. Now, that's a very nice visual way to organize your process confirmations and the ones you want to have done on a physical board. The same, of course, you can do also digitally. You can get this information and just ask people to do it. You can do it with software. You can do it with almost the same system, as long as the underlying system is in place. So you give the information, somebody goes to the workflow, really where the process is being performed, checks, asks the operator, the colleague who is performing the process, what is going well, what is going wrong, maybe what's keeping them. You record which things were going very well, or more likely, what are the obstacles. And if there are no big obstacles, just let it run. Even if at the fourth time you see that the process was not going well, but it didn't really ruin your production, just let it slide. You register it, and then after the agreed number of confirmations, you check this whole evaluation together with the person responsible for this process, or a small committee like your daily meeting responsible for this department, and you check with them based on our observations. Are we confident that this process, this new standard, will be sustainable in our organization? Or do we need to take additional actions to make sure that this new standard, so this improved process, will be sustainable? That is all that process confirmation is meant to do. And of course, you can make some flavors of the month, you can put some themes in it, but the basic thing is, we have any standard that we're not completely sure of if we perform it correctly every time. And with new standards, that is of course a lot more likely. If we have such a standard, we decide to do a confirmation on that process, check if we perform it according to standards. If not, what are the obstacles? Do it a number of times and ensure that our people have everything that they need. So that is, and the training and the examples and the tools and the leadership to actually do the correct things in our processes and make it stable, so we as an organization can make our money doing the best processes that we have. Now, I'm sure many of you have also changed a lot of processes already in your own organizations, so please let me know in the comments what really works for you as a way to embed those new work standards, embed those new processes really into the daily operations. How do you manage this change and make it a habit for your colleagues? And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. For now, I wish you the best of luck actually making your change stick, and as always, enjoy the journey.